Dave, your thoughts on that?
Well, I guess it was a really open game. I mean, it could have been 3-3 after 20 minutes, really, if we're being frank. The way they play the game, we thought might provide us opportunities to capitalise, which I think it did at times. What I would probably say is we provided them with opportunities from too many unforced errors, and probably we're trying to just discuss it in there around game-related scenarios. Where you're making decisions sometimes on instinct, in that immediate moment, and we got. If you look at the goals, Nine's movement pulls off the shoulder. Look, it's good movement, but we'd say got to stop the cross, got to defend the cross. Covering position needs to be better. Second goal, we don't adjust from the delivery in the box. Fullback's got to step in on the side as it transfers, then they switch, and we got to get pressure on the ball quicker. We didn't. We get back in the game, and I think the lads deserve great credit for that. But you've got a mountain to climb at that point in time. And it's we can't keep being in a position where everybody's giving the lads compliments and the managers stood in the tunnel after the game saying best team we've played. It's easy to say when you've been beaten 4-1. So we've got some work to do.
It does seem, it sounds obvious with your team, but inexperience plays such a big part in this defeat in particular.
Yeah.
In that you're a goal down just before half-time, and then it's important you don't concede again, and you do.
Yeah.
What can you do about that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think how we've tried to suggest that to the players is you're learning on the job. Whereas, I guess if you're, let's say, if you're a left back who's played 250 games, you've made those decisions, you've been in those moments, and that I can't criticise the players for that. They're doing everything they can to try and ensure they're not making errors. We are. And that's the challenge we've got at the moment. I feel like I can't play it down because we lost 4-1 in a really open game. So for us away from home, it's too open. And those moments in transition where we've got to hurt them. If you look at some of the opportunities second half, we flashed the ball across the face of the goal for a tap-in in both halves, really. So yet again, hugely disappointing. Yet again, unforced errors. And at the opposite end of the pitch, we're not capitalising from some really, really good spells of play.
9 defeats in 10 League and Cup now. I mean, what we're saying.
Of course, and that's the game, isn't it? We're in that scenario. I think I'd probably say it goes back a little bit longer stretch into the last season as well. So there's bits and pieces. Ultimately, it's a new season. I can't. The bit I'm really clear with is that the lads definitely have clarity in what they're trying to do and how they're trying to play. They definitely have clarity in how they're trying to get the ball back and how we're trying to press and get after it. There's times we get manhandled through physicality, and that's the challenge. But clearly we have to, as we are doing, try to find a way. But the record is the record, and it's not going to change until we force 3 points out the bag, close one end of the pitch down. Be really, really challenging to play against, and capitalise at the other end. Goals change games, don't they?
Do you fear the scrutiny you'll face?
It's only natural, isn't it? I think we all accept and understand that's the nature of the game. So yeah, absolutely, I completely accept and understand what was said.
A few weeks ago, Nathan Blake suggested go into the free agent market. I'm probably asking the wrong one, but is that something you might welcome, just to bring in an old head or two?
I mean, there's obviously the financial fair play that we need to comply with as well. So it's not always as simple as just saying, yes, we can go and get a couple of extra individuals in. It's obviously a challenge, which has been clearly stressed previously around ensuring that we're compliant with the procedures. So we are clearly looking. But equally, as you come to the end of September, that's also tough as well. Anybody comes in is going to take some time to get up to speed and be ready to play if that does happen.
How close is Liam Shepherd or Matt Smith?
Liam Shepherd will be another 6 or 7 weeks. Matt Smith similarly got a back issue. I have to say as well, that's really tough for Shep. He was devastated, and similarly Matt. Really good professionals.
I mentioned those two because they're two old heads that you could do with right now.
Absolutely. And Shep was desperately disappointed when he felt his hamstring with a tightness in session. So that's a disappointment for him, and he's clearly back in rehab to try and get himself ready to come back again.
Who keeps you going now?
Well, myself, I guess. Look, I'm a realist. I completely get our situation. I completely understand where we're at. My job is to continue to support the players to try and deliver a result. That's my job. I understood clearly from the start where we're at in our situation. My motivation hasn't changed. I'll do everything I possibly can to help the players be successful, to help the club be successful. That's our job. So my disappointment, clearly, we hate losing. It's like anything you do. If there's something on it, you want to win. We're all in that point where we probably hate losing more than we enjoy the other side of the game. So I'm realistic. I try to stay positive. The staff have been terrific, and equally the players. Their appetite to always try to do the right thing has been never in question. So that said, we have to get over the line. We know we've had a tough run, but we've had a tough run in games that we should have got a result. So on the balance of play today, created opportunities. We're easy on the eye, play some nice football. We try to play an attacking style which allows our front players to get into positions where they can be effective. And then the opposite side is we need to try and look at making sure that we're difficult to play against again. We were at the start of the year, but we ended up taking a player at the top line and put him into a back five. So you lose your attacking threat and gain an extra defender in the back of the pitch. So there's all those scenarios that we're discussing and looking at. Ultimately, I'm never going to criticise players.
All the best.
Cheers, thank you.